Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jame and I'm 55 years old. I have my own garage and what makes it special is that I built it from scratch. I started working when I was 18 years old. I worked under my uncle and after 7 years I had saved enough money to start my own garage. The initial years were hard. I worked really hard to make it work. Over the next 30 years it grew into what it is today. Did I fall in love? Yes, I fell in love with Sophia. I met her at an auto show while she was still in university. We instantly connected, exchanged numbers, and decided to meet again since we lived in different cities. Our communication was limited to phone calls. A few months later, we met again, and this time the meeting ended at my place. She was amazing, and what was special is that it was her first time visiting. A few months later, Sophia lost her parents and her university fees were in jeopardy. I knew she was the one for me, so I came to her rescue and put my savings towards her studies. She was overwhelmed and started crying, then hugged me. 5 years later, she had moved in with me and landed a job with a local law firm as a lawyer. It was a beautiful Sunday, and we had gone out hiking. After 3 hours, we reached the top of the hill and could see the entire city. Suddenly, Sophia got down on one knee and proposed. I was surprised and said yes. She gave me a ring and told me that from now on, I was hers forever. After we got married 3 weeks later, in a very small ceremony, our life was great. Over the next 20 years, our life was great. We had 2 kids, Maria, who is 19 years old, and James, who is 18 years old. They are now living their own lives. Maria is completing her university, and James is the lead guitarist in a local rock band. With both kids out of the house, I was content and satisfied with my life. I never got a higher education, and I was always seen as a brute. I never bothered. It was at this time that Sophia changed after being married for 20 years. I knew everything about her, how she thinks, behaves, and even how she lies. There were too many overtimes at her new office. She had changed jobs about a year ago, and it came with more money and more glamour. Her new boss was a big-shot lawyer and was famous for his court cases. I never liked him. After observing Sophia for about 3 months, I confronted her and asked about her late-night working hours. I am usually gentle, but today was different. Sophia had never seen this side of me. It took about 20 minutes of intense questioning, and she broke down. She admitted to sleeping with her new boss. I had a simple question. Why? You are the same man that I married 20 years ago, I said. You never changed, never upgraded. You wear shabby clothes, look like a brute, and are unpresentable in society. I want better, someone who can be presented as my equal. You just agree to everything I want, never act as the husband, and take charge as an alpha male. I looked at her and then asked, You want to leave me after my loyalty of over 25 years because I cannot present you in your parties? Just because I do not dominate and abuse you, I am not a good husband. I sent 2 kids to college, made sure you became a lawyer, and today I am not good enough. She then tried to play tough with me. You should understand this situation and accept it as it is. I will be with my new lover and you should accept it. If you don't, I will divorce you and take away everything that you have ever worked for. I will put you in legal loops, and you will spend the rest of your life running between court and the streets. I will then take away your most prized possession, that garage that you have built over the years, will be gone. So, you better be ready for it. I leaned back on my chair. You think you can put me through an illegal process and take away everything? She nodded. I laughed and said, Best of luck. She tried to speak, but I never allowed her to. I got up and left the house. The next morning I saw Sophia and just walked out of the house for work. Once I had left, Sophia called her lover. Hello, John, what's the matter, sweetie? You look terrible. Jamie knows about us. He confronted me this morning. I told him everything. That could complicate things. It's not the end of the world, though. We talked about this possibility. I know we did. But when the time came, it hurt. After all, James and I have been together for 25 years, married for 20, and had 2 kids together. What did you say to him? Pretty much what we agreed on. I didn't bother denying it. You know I'm a lousy liar. I pretty much stuck to the script you suggested, told him the truth of it. That you're a successful career woman, a lawyer no less, who has been married to a mere mechanic for just about her entire adult life. A guy who has never tried to better himself. That for once in your life, you wanted to be with an alpha male, someone who is your equal, a man that can take charge, not one that bows to your wishes every step of the way. Yeah, pretty much. Don't put him down too much, though. He does have his own business now, and his trade did provide for the kids and me, putting them through college and me through uni. It's just that when we rehearsed it, it sounded like I deserved someone like you. But when he reminded me of the years of support, both emotional and financial, he'd provided, then it all sounded a little hollow. You know what I'm saying? Did you tell him everything? That if he didn't accept the status quo, then the firm would back you to the hilt in a divorce and leave him penniless? Yes, I did, John. The only problem is he didn't seem to care a rat's ass about all that stuff. Just kept repeating that he couldn't believe I was tossing him away after all his loyalty. I've got to say, John, it hurt. I tried to tell him I wasn't discarding him. I just felt I deserved a little extra. But I don't think he took that in. I don't want to lose him, John. A little extra? Jen, I'm insulted. You said you love my big guy, honey. You told me it took you places. His good old hobby hadn't taken you in years. Did you, or did you not say you never had sex like it? Yes, I did, John. But I told you, I wasn't that experienced when I married James, and he was always so gentle. You are so different, so dominating and demanding, it just swept me away. Yes, and will continue to sweep you away, lover. Your husband will just have to accept that you have an extra dimension now with you. He's lost his top dog status. I'm the alpha male around here. And he'll just have to accept it. Still, I'd hate to think I've cost you a 25-year marriage. Tell you what, I'll prepare some documents, then go and see him this afternoon. Leave me the address of his workshop. What documents? Anything I can think of. You know the trick we play on all gullible schmooks. Orders restraining him from coming anywhere near you, me, or your home. Papers freezing his company bank accounts. That's just the start, overwhelming him with papers that he's not qualified to know or just bluffs. Your little hobby is about to be told in no uncertain terms just who the alpha is around here. Believe me, sweetie. By the time I've finished bullying him, he'll be begging you to give him what scraps he can get. I don't know. You didn't see his face this morning. That afternoon around 2 p.m., the alpha male came to my garage. Mr. Brown, can I come in? My name is... I know who you are. Good. That saves some time. I believe Sophia told you this morning that the arrangement she and I have will continue into the foreseeable future. What she didn't tell you, I believe, is why you'll allow it. If I could just set my briefcase here, thank you. I don't know if you're aware, but I am the owner of the company Sophia works for. That means I have over 20 lawyers at my disposal, and I can absolutely assure you that every single one of them was chosen because of their superior record of cases. Over half of them are experienced in divorce law, and believe me, I'll have no hesitation unleashing every single one of them against you. This bundle is just what I got ready to file this morning. I'll go through them briefly. This is a petition for divorce. See, your wife has already signed it. This is an order freezing your company accounts until the business can be sold under a settlement agreement. This is an order giving you 24 hours to vacate your marital... At home, the atmosphere was tense, thick with the weight of impending confrontation. 4 papers, legal orders, lay on the table, stark reminders of the brewing storm. These documents, restraining orders, mandated that Jamie must maintain a distance of at least 200 meters from me, Sophia, her residence, and our workplace. Their presence seemed to cast a shadow over the room, foretelling the clash that was about to unfold. John, with his characteristic arrogance, tried to assert dominance, boasting of his supposed legal prowess. "Jamie, boy, I'll have you so wrapped up in legal writs you won't be able to move," he declared confidently, his tone dripping with contempt. He seemed to revel in the power he believed he held over us, his words laced with arrogance and disdain. However, beneath his bravado, there was a palpable sense of insecurity, a desperation to assert control in the face of mounting resistance. His threats were thinly veiled attempts to mask his own vulnerabilities, a facade of strength to conceal his inner turmoil. In response, I attempted to reason with him, urging for a peaceful resolution. "Let's just keep things as they are," I proposed, hoping to diffuse the escalating tension. "I'll be with Sophia when I want, and you get to be with her when she wants. Why make waves?" But John remained obstinate, refusing to entertain the notion of compromise. "If you've been all she needed, we wouldn't be here now, would we?" he retorted, his words dripping with scorn. His refusal to acknowledge any semblance of equality or mutual respect only served to exacerbate the situation, fueling the flames of conflict. Frustration bubbled within me, a simmering anger at his arrogance and entitlement. "You don't have a clue what the term alpha male means, do you?" I challenged him, my voice laced with indignation. "Shall I, a mere mechanic, explain it to you?" With that, I seized the opportunity to assert myself, to reclaim the power that he sought to usurp. In a swift and decisive motion, I delivered a resounding blow, striking him first in the face. The impact echoed through the room, a tangible manifestation of my defiance. But even as I stood my ground, a sense of unease lingered in the air, a silent acknowledgement of the turbulent waters ahead. The battle was far from over, and the outcome remained uncertain. Yet, in that moment, I found solace in the knowledge that I had refused to back down, that I had confronted adversity with courage and conviction. "And Mr. Alpha, it would really help if you stopped squealing. I'm trying to teach you something here. By the way, thanks for making me break my promise to myself back in high school, never to use my size and strength offensively. I was going to leave you out of the consequences of Jen's actions until you came barging in here, rubbing my nose in it. Even gentlemen have their breaking points." I pressed my foot against John's throat until I had his full attention again. "Now, back to your education. The term alpha male comes from wolf packs. He's the one and only wolf who tells all the others what to do. He might not be the smartest or even the biggest, but he's the meanest around, the one who will kill without a second's hesitation. He's absolutely ruthless. And you, son, don't even come close. You may be the alpha in the small world of your air-conditioned office, but out here in the big world, you're just another pissant, right? And I really wouldn't go around calling yourself smart. You didn't even bring a witness, you dumb, yeah. Now, let's look at the possible futures here. Option 1 is that you report this to the police. Maybe they arrest me, maybe they don't. Maybe they let me out on bail, maybe they don't. Maybe they pin it on me, maybe they can't. Lot of maybes in there, John. Worst case scenario for me is that I get a 5-year apprenticeship in prison. 5 years of learning how to hurt people, how to kill, and hide the body so no one ever finds it. And then, when I finish my apprenticeship, we'll have another conversation like this one. Or windbag, you can chalk this up to experience. Use it as one of your learning experiences of what can happen when you mess with another man's wife. Now, off. I have some cleaning to do thanks to you bleeding and Jesus-fing Christ crapping yourself on my nice clean workshop floor. That evening, Sophia called John. "John, I'm waiting at the office. I thought you'd be back ages ago. Where are you?" I've just been admitted to a ward in the hospital after 3 hours in casualty. My God, what happened? Were you in an accident? No, I underestimated your husband. I stupidly went to see him alone. He broke my nose, my left hand, some ribs, and possibly my cheekbone. I don't believe it. He's never been violent that I know of. Believe me, it's true. I'll show you the x-rays if you like. My God, I can't believe it. Not my Jame. Is there any way I can stop you going to the police? We kind of brought this on ourselves. Despite what he's done, Jame doesn't deserve to end up in prison over this, Sophia confessed to John, her voice trembling with regret. The weight of their predicament bore down heavily upon her shoulders. The police have already been here. I told them I was knocked down by a hit-and-run driver. Your darling, gentle husband threatened me, saying that as bad as I am now, this is only a down payment on what I can expect if I press charges. I can't risk getting hurt again. I've decided to keep my mouth well and truly shut. John listened intently, his brow furrowed in concern. That sounds a bit woy. It sounds like you're terrified of him. I just can't believe it. Jame wouldn't hurt a fly, he remarked, struggling to reconcile the image of his friend with the allegations. Sophia's voice cracked with emotion as she replied, Well, believe me, I have the broken bones to prove it. I'm just doing what I need to do to survive, Jen. Now I've got to go. They've filled me full of pain meds and they're starting to kick in. The following day, John found himself sitting by James' hospital bedside, contemplating the gravity of their situation. James' eyes pleaded for assistance as he addressed John urgently. John, you have to help me. I drove around until after 8 last night, unsure if it would be safe to return home. I tried ringing James to ask, but he never picked up. Upon reaching home, I found all the locks changed. I couldn't get in. I ended up staying at my sister's house. This morning, I discovered that all our bank accounts are empty and none of our credit cards work. You have to help me. Can you get one of the divorce lawyers at work to initiate proceedings to have Jamie removed from the house? Can I come stay with you until then? John's expression hardened as he weighed the implications of James' request. No, to what? All of it, he responded firmly. If I use company assets and resources to help you, he will have cause to come after me again. In fact, I'm going to play it safe. You're fired, Jen. I'll pay you an extra 4 weeks in severance if you pack up and leave today. Can you tell James that I fired you if you see him, please? The severity of John's decision struck a chord with James, who felt a pang of desperation wash over him. Didn't you hear me? James has cleaned me out. Without money, a job, or your help, I'm screwed from the start, he lamented, his voice tinged with resignation. I'm sorry, Jen, but you didn't see your husband's face as he beat me up. I'm doing what I have to do. Sophia's tone grew sharper as she addressed James, her frustration boiling over. You were pathetic yesterday. You were bragging that you're an alpha male. Today, you're quivering and worried that my husband, who is 10 times the man you are, is hiding under your bed. How I could ever think I'd be trading up if I ended up with you is beyond me. And you're delusional to think I was ever serious about a cheating like you. Later that day, Jennifer Brown found herself sitting alone in her car on the side of the road, her mind reeling with uncertainty. With her credit cards declined and her cash reserves depleted, she felt a sense of despair wash over her. It had only been a matter of time before she ran out of fuel, both literally and metaphorically. She contemplated her next move, grappling with the harsh reality of her circumstances. In all the years, her children had never let more than an hour pass before answering her messages. She reached for her phone, her fingers trembling with anticipation, only to find her efforts met with silence. Sophia let out a heavy sigh, feeling defeated. She pulled back her useless hand and stepped out of the car, straightening her skirt as she walked to the side of the road. With determination, she stuck out her thumb, hoping for a ride. I approached in my beat-up van, a faint smile playing on my lips as I saw the lone woman seeking a lift. I wouldn't call myself an alpha male, but even I knew that loners couldn't be described that way. Apex predators hunt alone. I parked the van nearby and Sophia, taken aback, felt frozen in place. Climbing down from the van, I approached her and calmly asked her to get in. "We need to talk," I said firmly. Reluctantly, she complied, and as she settled into the seat, I laid out my terms. "Prepare the divorce papers. No alimony, no share in my assets. Everything I own will stay with me, and everything you own stays with you. All the jewelry I bought for you must be returned. You can cite whatever reason for the divorce you want. I don't care as long as you're out of my life," I continued, my voice unwavering. "After the divorce is finalized, you'll leave town and never look back. You may talk to my kids and meet them in my absence, provided they want to see you. Your belongings will be packed and ready for pickup by 10 a.m. tomorrow. If not picked up by 11 a.m., they'll be disposed of. Do I make myself clear?" Sophia nodded silently, her expression reflecting a mix of shock and resignation. When asked when she could provide the papers, she mentioned it would take a week. I insisted they should be on my desk within the next 5 days, and she nodded again. With that, I asked her to leave the van, and I drove off. The following morning, by 10:30 a.m., Sophia had collected her belongings as instructed. 5 days later, she delivered the divorce papers, citing irreconcilable differences as the cause. I chuckled to myself at the irony. Months later, I found myself a free man, but with a heavy heart. I regretted the breakdown of my marriage and Sophia's inability to understand loyalty. She failed to realize the dangers of seeking dominance in the bedroom with a much larger partner. I would have tried to save our marriage, but she chose threats instead. Now I continue my life alone, accepting that every apex predator eventually faces solitude. Until next time, dear listener, if you've made it this far, please click the subscribe button. It would be a great help.